Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Operation Status Quo. That's the place you gotta go. Don't you know? You're here, so you made it. Yeah. Hey-o. We love this. Madness down as we get started here today on Operation Status Quo. I'm a day late, and dollars short, is what they always say. I'm probably a lot more dollars short than that. But anyway, I'm a day late. Usually we try to get on here on a Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, so I hope you weren't too nervous and upset. I hope it didn't disrupt your mental stability or your normal weekly routine to have to wait a day to listen to my madness and nonsensical banter and ramblings. So, how we doing out there? This is Operation Status Quo. I am Pete.Palma. I am your user-friendly host. This is, of course, the place where we observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life. And then, most importantly, we create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. So what are you doing right now to create your own flow of quo? Let me know in the comments below. Remember, if you're not living your flow of quo, you are living someone else's flow. And that is, as we say here on Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen, is, where's the bell? Where's the bell? It is the no-no. We don't want to do that. So, yeah, I'm feeling good. Just came back from my dipsy doodle at the pool. We're getting there into the later parts of the season here, but we can still get our swims in down here in Florida unless, a lot of people have heated pools. We don't, our community doesn't have heated pools. I mean, what kind of sick world, backwards thinking space am I existing in where I'm in a community that doesn't have a heated pool, ladies and gentlemen? What kind of low brow level existence is this? Hey-o. With all this suffering that's going on in the world, must we add to it by not heating the pools so we can swim all year? Quite honestly, though, you in a way you could get away with it. If you're from like up north like I am, then quite honestly, even when the water is like 60 degrees or something, it's still like, oh yeah, that's like what it feels like in July up in the ocean, So, but anyway, yeah, I did my dipsy doodle, so I'm feeling good. Got the chakras cleared out. Did my laps. Did some yoga today too, so I'm feeling good. Are you taking care of your bodies, ladies and gentlemen? Before we get into anything, right? In these crazy times and everything that's going on in the world today, and especially since COVID happened, what changes have you made? Like, Operation Status Quo, right? This is a live stream of consciousness. We never know exactly what direction we're headed in, and quite honestly, I say we don't know what direction we're headed in. I have to probably take most of the blame for that. I really don't know what direction we're heading in, or I should say, I don't know what direction I'm heading in, which really is no direction, no direction at all. What was the band? The band was One Direction, right? Wasn't that the name of that? The boy band, were they called One Direction or whatever? I'm going to start a boy band. It's going to be called No Direction, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know where the hell we're going. Hold on, let's get over here. It's been a long time since we did some little sound effects extra. I haven't. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Thank you. I always appreciate a little bit of laughter. It's nice. Oh, man. I just have so much fun when I'm here with you guys and doing this. I really wanted to keep it light today. Sometimes I am going to get into my point, whatever, kind of, it is what it is. Who gives a crap? Really, this show, I have to come up with a title and a thumbnail, right? It's like, just to make it somewhat intriguing that someone might click on it. But the truth is, you really have to watch an episode or two and get into the flow of the brain work that goes on, or the lack thereof, that goes on here on Operation Status Quo. But again, this is the live stream of consciousness. This is the place where we're just kind of observing life. Really, not just observing life as far as like looking at the outside world and trying to be critical of it, but we're observing life from we're observing ourselves, really. That's what Operation Status Quo really should be about. Maybe I should change the whole format, It's like, but it is, you're learning to create your flow. When I talk about, we do the best we can to live our own flow of quo, but we have to, unfortunately, in some regard, well, maybe not unfortunately, it's part of the whole, totality of our existence, but we have to fit within, we have to fit our flow of quo within the entirety of the quo, of the flow, I should say, of the status quo that's going on. There's always some form of status quo, but you can create your own status quo. That's what the hell we're doing here. Is anybody listening to me? I got the wrong applause. Is there anybody out there? Does anybody care? Does anybody want me? Does anybody care? Do I care? Do I care if you care? Do you care if I care? Do any of us care about anything at all? Do we care? Do we care about caring? Right? All right. So, but yeah, take care of yourself. I'm glad I remembered where my tangent kind of started. I was talking about taking care of ourselves, like after COVID and everything, right? As much as we are seeing all the things play out in the world, whatever, forget about sides and everything, but just the grandness of everything that's happening, the changes that are happening, and just even the stuff that people are talking about, right, from all kinds of different directions. I mean, crazy stuff if you really dig in and open your mind to other perspectives. But it's almost like it's so fast paced, like the whole world's like on crack, you know? I feel like I'm on crack all the time. Like I'm not in, by the way, like I don't even drink coffee, just to say, you know, because I know I seem uppy sometimes. I'm not doing, 8 balls over here, before I start my show or anything. I don't drink coffee. I don't need uppers in any kind of regard. Like really, I should probably do it like, like a pint of bourbon before I do the show. So I'm like, okay, guys. I don't know. We're just going to talk a little bit. We're just going to talk a little bit. Well, no, we're just going to talk a little bit. That's all. And then, how you doing? Okay? And the show would be more like that. Probably might be better. But we have to take care of ourselves. Can I go back? We have to take care of ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. It's important. So, remember in all the madness that's going out there that self-care is still number one. That's why I'm so with the yoga when I talk about what it taught me and everything else. I mean, I was into self-care prior to that in regard, but it really took things another step forward. But that's whether you like yoga or not has something to do. But I'm just saying, take care of yourself out there. Take care of your mind. Take care of your body. Be mindful of what you're feeding yourself, not just food-wise and beverage-wise, but, also your brain and your thought-wise. Like, what are you feeding yourself all the time? It makes a big difference in how you perceive the day. I mean, quite honestly, let's be real. There's this whole world going on right now with all these different things and all the polarization, the things that people are all so mad about, issues and stuff and nonsense, whatever, right? But, I mean, that's what someone who's very worked up about a particular issue or whatnot is, in actuality, they're feeding that into their brain, right? They're feeding that, and that is what they're living off of, and that's what they're creating more of in their life, because those are the thoughts that they're focusing on. So let me try to get to some sort of point today. We're just going to have fun today, and we're just going to talk. Are we having fun so far? I think we are. Let me know in the comments below. I love you guys. Click subscribe if you haven't done so already, and maybe you've seen just enough to say just click subscribe. You don't even have to come back. This way you don't have to second guess yourself. Today is the 9th of October. In the good year 2025, and today's program is entitled Taunted, Traumatized, and Trumped. Yes, and this is not political, by the way, because I have no interest in politics whatsoever. I just find, as I always do, Trump to be such an interesting character in today's times. If you think about it, I mean, if you really think about it, like I say, I'm in my 50s, but if you're somewhere at least 40 and up, you've experienced enough of the world to say to yourself, like, we really have never seen anything in the regards of the way to have someone like that in office, in a sense, right? And again, this is not picking on issues or saying anything who's good or bad, right? Just the turmoil of the presence of this character. That's how I want to say it, right? Like just the presence of this character and what is being put forth by this character, again, which is it's not the real, right? It's not the real. It's just what's being put forth in a way to illuminate humanity to different ways of thinking and different things to see. So you would never have, everything was just like always a smooth, a well-oiled machine, like back in the past, right? It was always, even though everybody knew everything was kind of BS in certain ways, right? Everything just kind of had that flow. And then he came in during that time, and I wasn't into it in the beginning, like say 2016 and all that, like the first time around. Like I don't pay attention to politics. I don't care. I mean, I'm not embarrassed to say I have no interest in voting. I think the whole system's a sham, and it doesn't really matter who's in. The system's the system, and they can play games all day long saying which way or the other. It doesn't matter. People feel good to go vote for whoever's going to F them over. You're getting F'd over either way. So you feel good to push a button, go push a button. It's like they might as well just have a dictator, really, because it is what it really is. is ultimately. We don't have real choices. That's the thing that was so interesting about him when he came around the first time, because people felt they had a real choice. This is a real person, a business guy. But, look at the background of how he came up. I mean, he was a feature, whatever you want to say, in society for years and years, especially, coming up with the real estate and everything, his dealings in Atlantic City and such. And then even being on the TV shows and doing wrestling, and he was interviewed by Oprah and all these people multiple times years ago, always kind of asked about being president. And these are the type of things I'm saying to try to tell people that if you look at things from a higher perspective, you see that it's playing out. It's playing out purposefully. It's not like this guy just did all this and he's a total jerk and he became president and he's doing all these crazy things and he's turning the world upside down. I mean, it's part of a dance. It's part of a dance through characters that were shown through the course of time over years that you become. I'm not saying again, I've talked about this before a kabillion times, and I don't know how much a kabillion really is, but I know I've said it a kabillion times. It's not saying that these people don't exist per se, and the whole thing is just like a fake, but you have to go above higher levels, and there's levels of population. There's levels of what people, what they have access to as far as technologies and such, what they have access to as far as just real information and everything else. So, you go up and it's a whole thing about stuff like with the CIA, they got body doubles. And I'm just trying to say, everybody just thinks everything's upfront and honest. So-and-so said this. I don't want to make it all about, about Trump, because it's not he's just an amazing example of what is being shown to us. I liken it to when you go to Disney, right? You go to Disney, you get on one of those rides or whatever, right? It could be I remember back in the day when it was Twister, the movie Twister came out, and I was down, I guess it was Universal Studios or whatever, but you go through the thing and the sign falls just like it's in the movie, and the water tank breaks, the earthquake. Remember you went into the earthquake one they had too down there in Disney, and, the earthquake and the water come rushing down and around and blah, 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 all that stuff. And it's almost like Disney, it's like Disney is literally showing you exactly what they do to trick the people in a grander scale. I mean, think about what they're using. Oh, it's entertainment. You go there and it looks like, so you're going to tell me that the news doesn't have the technology? I mean, if they have it in a park in Disney, you think when the CIA is making world news tonight, do you think they don't have props and studios and stage sets and stuff to create? An earthquake, just say a massive earthquake happens, like that one that happened in Turkey, whatever it was last year or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying the earthquake didn't happen, but when they show the people there, live, on the scene, it's not. I don't believe that is. I believe that they have imagery of what's going on there. They build a second, and they were able to do it at their own way, film it their own way, have their own people walking around. If you watch it, you can see it. I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into that either, but I'm just trying to say, for the titles, because people feel when it comes to our current president, people feel they're so pissed off at going back to, Mark Drost when I do a toast to Drost. And I really should, maybe I will. We'll see when I'm done rambling here. Maybe we'll tap into it. He's been posting like crazy, and he's always mad, and I'm just saying, talk about taunted, right? This poor man is taunted and traumatized every day because he just hates Trump so much. And again, I'm not taking sides. I don't care. I think the whole system is a sham. The whole system has been a sham. And again, going back to these things being characterizations and ways of utilizing people and technologies to guide human thought, and it doesn't all have to be nefarious, because I've said that a kabillion times too. Humanity's growing to a different level, and what we're seeing play out in leadership around the world right now is so much incompetence and just backwards way of doing. I mean, everything is just up. I don't care what side you're on. It doesn't matter. They're all idiots, right? Or so it seems. But I think that's done purposely, right? Because it has to make people say, well, my God, we can't trust in any of these schleps anymore. We have to do something for ourselves. So it kind of, to me, I feel what we're seeing in the way that we're seeing it is not like some madman, saying outlandish things, doing crazy, non-practical things. It's not that. It's purposeful direction of inciting people, inciting what's within people to step up and say, we don't have to tolerate that. We don't have to do it this way, that way. So, yeah, I don't know. That's like how I see it with all that stuff. Like, it's very easy for them to create what they want to create and show. And again, I feel humanity's growing to a bigger space. And just to speak on it in another step, I was talking to a friend of mine and we were talking about AI. And, I understand trepidation in AI because people keep saying, like, we're going to lose our jobs. What would I do? And all that type of stuff. And, I try to tell people in a sense, like, is losing your job to AI. I mean, it depends on the job. Let's be real. First of all, AI should be something that is utilized with people with brains. Like if I wanted to create, if I had the technology, I wanted to make a feature movie, like I would be able to use AI to say, okay, I want a camera angle here. I want a camera angle there. I want a background that looks like this. Like, I can guide it, but not just say, here, I want you to make a movie about this. And then it just makes it, that's the thing. So, but AI is a blessing in a sense for, like, even the job I had before, I always criticized, my previous government job, but at the same time, I just want to make it clear that everything happens in life for a reason. And I am thankful. I'm thankful for everything, even the things that I don't like, because, all those years with the government did build me into a space that allowed me to support myself through endeavors that I'm doing now. So I'm just saying everything has a purpose, and and I'm appreciative of all that. But to do government contracts, do you really need a bunch of people sitting in an office going back and forth? I mean, the FAR, which is, for those who don't know, Federal Acquisition Regulations, people who do contracts, you follow the FAR. It's all the contract rules and blah, blah, blah. What I mean is, though, but an AI could have that whole thing memorized and just put the contracts together in 2 seconds. Like, you wouldn't need all these. And the point I'm making is, like, why do you want to do that type of job? Like, why not? Why? What I'm saying is, like, the AI, and our world changing and everything happening, like all the out there becoming so crazy. And I don't think people realize how it plays into not just our change in financial system, but our work way too. Like, as far as AI is really going to take over a lot of stuff. Trying to stay on target here with my thought process, but people are afraid to lose their jobs. But what are you afraid to lose? You're afraid to lose the job that you just kind of sit in an office and just shuffle papers around because that's just what you do, because you have to sit there for 8 hours and earn money, right? You understand what I mean? It's not about being lazy. It's about being you. I keep trying to say you are the job now. You are what is it that you do? What is the creative essence in you? And not everything has to be like a creative per se, but it could be anything creative. You could be making bouquets of flowers. You could be, gardening. You could be growing food. You could be landscaping, building furniture, woodworking. I don't know, caring for animals, whatever it is that comes natural in your heart that resonates, that it feels good to take part in and be part of. Like, wouldn't that be a better day than just kind of sitting somewhere for some job that you don't even really like, but you're worried you're going to lose it to AI? I think it's freedom. And I'm just going to kind of round it out here with the purpose of Taunted, Traumatized, Trump. Like, Trump is this figure that has flipped everything in a certain way. And I know, and I can't even go down the road with the people who are really into politics and everything and just believe all that stuff. And they're talking about issues. It makes me so crazy. It's such like, it's like such a low level of looking at things. Like, so anyway, I don't know why that's an agitating point to me. But, on the grander scale, it's just a reflection. And it's done because it's so much more. We're all one big energy. It's levels. Like, how many times I got to say it's levels? It's levels, Jerry. I always think my one buddy always busts my chops when I say it's levels. He sends me the picture of Kramer, remember that episode of Seinfeld when he was going to build the levels, but he never built them. And he's like, Kramer going, levels. Levels, Jerry. I'm going to build levels. but it is all levels. And again, we all have free will in this life as divine spirits and entities or sovereign beings. So, and the stuff is out there, and it's up to us to decipher and how to move forward. There's nothing out there, good or bad, nothing out there to get you per se, right? But it's more of what we're just kind of, what is being shown to you and then how you move forth in your day to day with that knowledge, right? And what we're seeing is playing out. And I'm just to say, because I don't watch news so much, but the back channels and different things, like there's a lot of protests in some of these countries with these younger people that want leaders out and stuff. And I'm saying, and it should be like we should start. Again, no violence. This is not about violence. This is all about like saying enough's enough. We can all work together in a beautiful way. I know we can. It's not always going to be great, but at the same time, everything's out there. Just again, if I can try to stay on topic for a moment, everything's out there for us to see, and it's up to us whether we tune into it or not. And everything is symbolic, even our own existence. It's not like you're just this body going through your day. Think about the symbolism of what you as an entity represents, what your thought processes represent, what you experience in your life, and what it reflects back. It's again to the levels, if I could. It's so much deeper. Everything is really symbolism. So it's just too big for it to be one answer. Even like with the religions, that's why I was never in with the Christianity stuff, because they always say, if you don't accept Jesus as your personal savior, you're going to hell. And I can't get, I'm like, I can't even fathom such a limiting thought. Like, what are you talking about? Especially since all the religions are generally lies, the way they were put forth to the public. But that's a whole nother 6 shows that we could do. But anyway, there's no one answer. The thing is, it's a confluence and it's always in motion. And everything we see based on the level is a reflection for us to make choices. It's just, I don't know. Can we stop doing this damn show? There's nothing else to say. I say the same damn thing all the time. Is anybody listening out there? Is anybody, damn it, shit, do ya? My damn Ayo. Hold on. Ayo. Thank you. I appreciate that. So that's kind of what I got. There's no reason for me to ramble on any further, right? I said what I said. Today's just a day of chit-chatting and saying hello and talking about life and stuff. And I just like to encourage people. I'm having fun the best I can. I have my days. This week's been a little, not bad, but, sometimes it's a little tougher to get through days than other times. Like, it's like mentally, physically, everything sometimes, it's ups and downs. And that's the point, too, of like being realistic and being in tune with energies and feeling where you are and what's going on, as opposed to thinking, we're not robots that you got to do the same thing every day. That's why we're going to have the AI. Let them do it. You're not the robot. The AI is the robot, but we're not going to be able to do the same things every day. And we should take heed to that in the sense of when we feel something, okay, I'm not feeling like yesterday. I wanted to do the show. I could have done a show yesterday. I just kind of wasn't in the mood. And I thought to myself, why try to force it and put myself in a space of not putting my best self forward towards you? I feel very energetic and light today as I'm expressing. And yesterday, I don't think it would have came across the same way. Not that I couldn't have done it, but, this isn't like an emergency that I got to do this show. So, right, I hope you enjoy it. I do it because I love you people out there, and I like to send, the positive messages. But anyway, so, I think we should just be more in tune with all that stuff. And if we start there and just even feel whatever we're feeling, even when we see things out in the world, we can still say, how's this making me feel? I can't tell you how many times I watch TV because I don't watch much TV, and I'll have it on for a little bit. And then I just start feeling like anxious. I just start feeling anxious and I feel like I'm getting warm and like I just can't take it, especially excuse me, with sports sometimes, the commercials, and they just keep talking and they're too many things. You're just saying too many things, right? So anyway, sometimes I have to, I just have to turn it off. I switch back to music or whatever else I'm doing. So, but anyway, stay in touch with yourself. Stay in touch with me. How you doing out there? Oh, man. All right. Well, we're having a good time, and I hope you're having a good time. We're moving through the fall and all that kind of stuff, and I don't know. That's it. That's all I got today. I don't have anything extra special. I just wanted to, kind of ramble on and get it out of my system, and I think I did a good enough job, and hopefully I didn't torture you too badly. I appreciate your time. I love you guys being here with me. We're a family. Let's build this community, whatever that means. The new world is here. So make the choice to, be what you want to be in that new world. We don't have to give ourselves away to what was. And we're seeing that in the outside world today, that it's really not worth to give ourselves outside to what was. Let's rebuild from within and create the new. All right. So that's what I got for you here today on Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't done so already, please take the time to like, subscribe, share, send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. I love each and every one of you out there individually as well as a group. Don't forget to check out pete.palma.com. The Happy Day album is now happily streaming along on all your favorite music streaming platforms. So give it a listen today, because it will make you happy. It makes me happy every time I listen to it. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and don't forget to follow me on the socials. A lot of great stuff coming up there. I got more bits I'll be working on. And, this weekend, I got another one I'll be doing tomorrow. And anyway, I'm always kind of working on stuff. So just keep following along, and we see what happens, just like this show. You never know what's going to happen. So until next time, Operation Status Quo, disengaged.